Hello there and welcome to this tutorial, and this is a drawing tutorial especially for also the beginner artists that want to practice their shading and practice their gray values. Now what I've done, I've chosen a very simple landscape, and it's a paper boat, and this paper boat is on a huge lake. And what I draw in first is, of course, the horizon line. Now the horizon line is simply the divider line between what is sky and what is water, or the earth, if you want to say that. There's also a little bit of land in the far distance, and you can see a little bit of perspective lines here in the underside below in the water. Now way in the front there is a stone or a cobble in the water, and the values here in front are quite dark. And I'm drawing with a simple charcoal pencil on a very simple Ami newsprint paper. This paper is very cheap, it's very smooth, and it's ideal for practicing your drawing techniques, and maybe for practicing your shading and gray value techniques. And of course the water itself has a gray value, so I put that in. And this also goes for the sky. Also the sky has a gray value, and should you want to watch the whole tutorial in real time and you want to draw along with me, then you can visit my Patreon page. There are a lot of videos there, over 100, and you can just watch them for the mere $5, and you can watch all my videos in real time if you really want to practice and get, good at art. Now what you see here is my pastel knife, and it's a rubber foam on a little palette knife, and with that foam I can easily push in the charcoal pigments into the paper. And this is my it's a pencil eraser. It's an eraser in the shape of a pencil. You can just sharpen it with your pencil sharpener. And in that way you always have a very sharp eraser at hand. I use it now to erase in the clouds that are in the sky. And as you can see, that is very easily done, because of my rubbing in the pigments into the paper, and then I can just simply erase them out. Now the underneath of the clouds, of course, are a little bit darker, so I put that in with the pastel knife, and then I just go over it with the pencil eraser. And in that way you can create amazing looking clouds. Now here in the front there is a big rock laying on the side of the water, on the river bench or the lake, and the values here are quite dark, and in that way you also create an atmospheric perspective, of course. Now once you have your complete sea landscape standing there, then you can just simply draw in the paper boat. And maybe you folded some paper boats in your youth or some other time. It's just nice to see if they float, of course. And this paper boat has stranded here at the shallow water, and you can see how the folds are going. So I carefully look at the reference picture, and I just watch how the paper is folded. And there's of course here a little dividing line, and then I can just erase out the boat itself. So I get rid of that little horizon line, and for the front of the boat I just erase out the background, and in that way I'm creating that little paper toy. Now this paper is maybe from a newsletter or maybe a glossy magazine or something, but there is a little bit of writing on the side of the paper. So it's very fun to just scribble in a few words there. You do not have to be able to read them, but just give the suggestion of that this is printed paper. And I look at the shadows, of course. Now this is a pastel pencil, and it's a white one. And you can use that for the brightest areas. The newsprint paper that I'm drawing on is a bit grayish, so by applying the white of the pastel, you can just brighten up the white a little bit. Now, of course, the boat is sitting on the water, and there's also a reflection of the boat into the water. And I use that, of course, because by putting in that mirror image of the tiny boat, you get the suggestion of water straight away. Also, this is a very good exercise for you, and closely watch your reference picture. You can find the reference picture, of course, on my Patreon page too, so you can draw along in real time. And I carefully also watch for the shadows that are on the boat, and also the print on the paper is reflected into the water. So, well, mirror image, that's really, really nice. So the boat is now, sitting on the water. Maybe it just hit the ground, or maybe it's just floating. I'm not sure, but it's convincing enough that this boat is sitting on the water. And to make the water a little bit more shiny, I use the blender stick to push in the pigments a little bit further into the paper. And I carefully go around the boat, but it's nice to bring a little bit of shine upon the water. So that's why I use the little blender stick. It has a nice stump, and I can easily rub in the pigments, of course. And once the pigments are rubbed inside to the paper, I can grab my pencil eraser again, and I get a little bit of waves going and a little bit of shine that is upon the water itself. So in that way you get a real smooth surface, and the Ami newsprint paper is smooth by itself, so that's ideal for practicing for newcomers. And here are the clouds, those are also reflected into the water, and then I simply put a little bit extra white pastel, and then my study is done. So a very nice study indeed, a very good practice. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and maybe I will see you on my Patreon page for more knowledge. So take care, and I see you around.